everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review for you. This is the Mutant Shredders 2-pack. It comes with the, if you can read this here, Shrimp and Crab Shredder Mutants. So that's the shrimp and that is the crab. On the show, I believe there was a third one, which I'm guessing was a lobster, but I don't know that for sure. But there's only two in this pack, and I don't think there's going to be plans to release a third one. So I think this is all we're going to get. I'll zoom in here if you'd like to go ahead and read the bio. Pretty cool picture here on the side. Back of the card, again, nothing new. Newest thing on here is probably Savage Mikey. Everything else we've pretty much seen before. So, I'm going to go ahead, pop this guy out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here they are out of the packaging. I don't know, kind of not that impressed at first glance here. This guy's actually kind of cool, and to me, it's really only because he's so tiny. I think, that just kind of really works for this guy. Articulation-wise, the head can move. It's on a ball joint. It can move a little bit up and down, but mostly just side to side. And then the shoulder joints are the typical shoulder where it's up and down, but also 360 around. And I don't know, he's got cool little arms. He's got these little pincers here. He's got crazy antennas on the front here, which I like a lot. Obviously, just two colors going on. There's the kind of dark silvery gray and then the purple. But that's really it. The neck movement and then the shoulders. That's it. Everything else is a static piece. But I mean, I get it. It's because he's tiny. And I think he can get away with it because he's tiny. He's just kind of short and stout, and I kind of like it. He has a little bit trouble standing. He does have two holes in his feet, so if you had a peg or something, you could get him to balance. But he doesn't. You can kind of see just to put this foot down, and then that foot just kind of hangs in the air. Sometimes you can get the antenna in the front to kind of act as third legs in the front. And I'll pan down a little bit to show that. So you can kind of see there, it helps him stand a little bit. But yeah, I mean, he's not bad. Like I said, he can get away with it because he's tiny and that kind of works for him. This guy really kind of feels like a McDonald's toy to me. It's really a shame. I mean, the helmet and the shoulder pads are one piece, and that just kind of goes around. He's got the same shoulder pad, or the same shoulder articulation as the other one, which is pretty typical for Ninja Turtle figures. The hinge and the 360. You can move here where the big claw hits the arm, but the problem is, I mean, so this is primarily orange, there's some molded in detail, but there's really no paint or anything, and you have these like really skinny arms and then these massive claws, so like even just trying to get the claws to move around, it's not that easy, and I almost kind of feel like the plastic peg inside is not moving, and I'm twisting it in there, and I'm afraid I'm going to snap it off. And then the legs are really just a joke. I mean, if you look at that, they're not even close to being... Like, this is what they should look like if they were going to be both flat and actually have them stand. But you can tell that they're warped. I mean, I guess if you wanted to put them in some kind of hot water to kind of get them to stand. Plus, the two giant claw arms make them really top-heavy. And, I mean, there's no movement. There's no hip movement. There's no knee, foot, anything. This is one solid piece. And it's in a weird pose. And then you just have these massive claws all in one color. Like... There's just hardly any paint. There's hardly any detail. It feels really cheap. And the fact that this is all one headpiece looks really ridiculous to me. And like I said, it really just kind of makes it feel like a McDonald's toy. It's hard to get them to stand. So it took me a while to try to get this guy to stand. It's really just the feet. I don't know why they chose that pose for the legs. I don't really know what they were going for. If they would have just given him normal legs, I would have been much happier with it. I guess they felt they had to put it in some kind of pose since they weren't going to give it any kind of articulation. But I mean, the shrimp's legs are fairly normal, and he doesn't have any articulation, so I really don't know why they didn't just do that. In any case, I can't really recommend these two guys. They're really not that great. This is what happens when you split the budget in between two figures, when these figures are pretty cheap to begin with. And I don't mean that they're cheap. I mean the figures are inexpensive. So the budget for each individual figure is not that high because there needs to be profit margins and everything like that. So if you found these guys on some kind of clearance or some kind of maybe at a yard sale or something like that. I think the shrimp is really cool. I like his color scheme. The fact that he's short and squat really works for him. Um, but I certainly wouldn't buy the pack just for him because this guy, I don't know. There's just not really any redeeming qualities to him. The head shoulder piece looks kind of ridiculous. It almost kind of looks like, the more I look at it, it looks like a big samurai helmet, more so than, shoulder pads, which is what I believe it's supposed to be. But who knows? Maybe it's supposed to be a samurai helmet. For all I know, it's supposed to be one piece. Um, but the arms just don't work that great. I really feel like I'm going to break them because this is so much comically larger than the tiny arms. And then there's just no articulation after that. And the pose they chose is just terrible for these feet. So, like I said, I don't really care for this guy at all. The shrimp's kind of cool, but there are so many better Ninja Turtle toys to get out there before this set. I would recommend pretty much any other figure with the exception of maybe Rat King before I would recommend these two guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me see what you have to say in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Mutant Shredders, the Shrimp and Claw Mutant Shredders from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and thanks for watching.